live? Yes. Hello, everybody, and welcome. I'm Kath Armstrong from the Cheapskates Club. Welcome to our Thursday night show in the kitchen. We are going to make the yummiest sweet tonight, and I'm going to show you how to cook the perfect roast chicken. We don't do turkey for Christmas, we do chicken. We're not real keen on turkey, so it's expensive, it's big, nobody really likes it, so we just go chicken. So I'm going to show you how to do the perfect roast chicken. It is the best and it's really easy, as well as this Choc cherry marshmallow log. That's a mouthful, isn't it? Anyway, hello everybody who's here. Judy, Lorraine, Yvonne, excuse me, I've got the hiccups already and I haven't even been talking on. Michelle, Yvonne, Annette, Lynette Hall. Hello everyone. So glad you could join us. What to do first?
Do the log because then you're touching chicken.
Well, I would wash my hands. Yeah, we'll do the log first, the Choc cherry marshmallow log first. Bit of history to this one. This actually recipe came from a friend of my mum's, an old family friend. When I say old, she was older than mum. So when I was a little girl, I was positively old. Actually, when I was a little girl, she was grandmother age. But Mrs. Collis was a really good cook. She made beautiful, beautiful things, and anything she did was always wonderful. And this is the one thing I can remember. We'd go to her home for lunch or tea, and this was always what she served afterwards with a hot drink. And I always loved it. So I have made it ever since. And it's really simple. It's a packet of chocolate biscuits. Now I used Coles Choc Crunch because that's what I had. You don't need to go the genuine choc ripple, whatever will do. I don't know what's in there. Something white in there.
No, you can get it.
Oh, did I get it that time? Now I whizzed them beforehand because the food processor makes that dreadful noise. So that's one packet whizzed in the food processor to crumbs. Then it's simply, I had to run and get my measuring cups because I might just eyeball this, but you probably don't know. So it's about 2 cups of coconut, and this is a 3/4 cup measure in my trusty apple green, so that's 3/4. Can't get it out.
Should have just eyeballed it.
Should have just eyeballed it. 3/4, 1.5. 2 cups of coconut. Easy. Then just whiz it through with a fork or a spoon or whatever you have and mix it up. Now I find it easier to do the mixing in stages just so it's a bit more even. Dry goods first. Yep.
Why aren't you using the Christmas utensils?
Oh, I probably will when I get to them, when I need them. Is that all right?
Guess so.
Okay, so there you go. Excuse me. Happy now?
Yeah.
Good. Okay. Then walnuts. This is they used to come in 200-gram packets. It's now down to 180.
That's only 180 grams.
Yeah, of walnuts.
That looks
If you don't like walnuts, use hazelnuts or almonds.
Macadamia?
You could use macadamias. Yes. Just chop them roughly, and I use my bigger knife to chop roughly. Watch I don't lose a finger. Just so they're not whole nuts in anything. Remember, we were talking about the rissoles and like sizes hold together better. So sorry for the clunking. That's what you get when you chop on live shows. Again. They don't need to be too small, but they don't need to be too big either. How's that for a precise measurement? Not too small, not too big. If you've got any biggish chunks, just chop them down a bit more. They can go into the bowl. There's a few ones left. As I said, if you don't like walnuts, use hazelnuts. I like hazelnuts. You could use macadamias. You could use almonds. And I don't want to waste that. So I'm going to just scrape it into the bowl.
Careful when you get that. Careful when you get that.
And again, just mix it through. It's just easier to get the dry ingredients mixed together first, and I like to do it in stages so that I know it's properly mixed. Next, cherries, because we've got the chocolate for the biscuits. Red cherries, 2 packets, which is about 200 grams or thereabouts of cherries. And again,
Put the plastic one down.
I was going to say I'll put the silk hat down.
Oh, I was just going to get the plastic chopping board.
Oh, yeah. Okay. My plastic one like this, so it's easier to clean than the wooden board.
Yes.
Yeah. I keep the cherries in the fridge. Don't know why, because Mum did. They don't need to be refrigerated. There we go. I didn't weigh these, folks, so probably a bit more than 200, but again, just halve them, chop them up into pieces. Oh, sticky, can you hear it sticking? Oh my gosh. Anyway, I have to tell you, we got a lot of entries for the competition with some really good ideas. Some of you people have amazing Christmas meals.
Glacé cherries.
Hey?
Glacé cherries?
Yeah, they're just glacé cherries.
Do they have to be red?
They don't have to be red. If you don't like red ones, you can use green or yellow.
They have a different flavour.
Do they?
Do they?
No, I don't think so. They're just
Different colours.
just different colours for different things. Okay. All right. That's going into the bowl in a big glob. Cherries are sort of roughly halved. I shall get rid of that and that.
Where do you buy the cherries from?
I get the cherries from Hindustan Imports in South Dandenong because they're big bags. I can buy them in bulk and they're cheaper, much cheaper than buying from the supermarket. Whoops.
Oh,
Marshmallows. Now
do they need to be big ones?
Oh no, they don't need to be big ones.
Look at all those mini ones.
But oh, yeah, we could use, show me how big the mini ones are. These are just the So Soft Marshmallow Company. Now these are $1 a packet cheaper than the Pascal. And they taste just as good.
Stop you.
Where did we get these from?
After they
Okay. That's about 2 packets, let me see. 500 grams is about 2 packets, a bit more than 2 packets.
This is only 300 grams.
No.
Oh wait, a bit more than 2. Yeah, okay.
So, there we go. We picked these up from Arthur Daly in Ferntree Gully for $1 a packet.
Let's chuck them all in.
Let's chuck them all in, she says. It's right for her.
I bought them.
Yeah, but you're not stirring it. Okay.
There's a big bone.
So we've got biscuits, coconut, walnuts, cherries, marshmallows. Before I go any further, I'll get the condensed milk out of the fridge. And I have more condensed milk and a bit spare just in case. I will get some Glad wrap ready now because we're going to make this into a big mixture, roll it out into logs. So to do that, I need my cling wrap. Trusty cling wrap. But I want to do that before I get my hands dirty. So,
these are nice marshmallows, Mum.
are they?
Yeah.
So glad you're enjoying them, Hannah.
I'm usually pleased.
And I'm going to put a little bit of extra coconut onto this cling wrap to roll it in. She says, so you'll end up rolling a bit like a Swiss roll to coat the outside. Okay. Now, I have to use my hands for this. There is no other easy way. If you don't like getting your hands into things, perhaps this isn't the sweet for you. Okay, so a tin of condensed milk. So that's the equivalent of 1 tin of condensed milk. But sometimes, you know, sometimes coconut's drier, biscuits are drier, or whatever. You might need a bit more, which is why I've got that extra little bit. Now I have to wash my hands. Sorry.
Well, nice.
It's only family that's eating it, so. All right. Wet hands.
So they're wet now too.
Yep. To mix it through. You can halve the recipe if you want to. Am I making a mess?
Yes.
Because it's a goopy recipe. If you really want to, you can halve it. But I figure it makes enough so that you can eat some, save some, and share some. How's that? It's a perfect sweet recipe.
What are the jars that you have the condensed milk in?
Just Kmart jars.
Yep.
Just the Kmart
preserving
jars. Yeah. I think you get 3 for.
All kinds
They're
of
all different
sizes.
Different sizes are different prices.
But $6 for each packet, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. All right. So this is still a bit dry at the bottom. So I might use that extra. Can I get you to lean across, please, my little girl? And just, I'll tell you when. Okay, that should be enough. Thank you.
Can't look at this time.
No, can't lick it this time. Just to get the mixture off the bottom. That's better. I don't want any dry stuff underneath. It's all got to be mixed in. So costing this out, I think the biscuits were $1.20. The marshmallows are $1, so it's $2.20. The homemade is about, condensed milk runs to about $1.70, so it's $3.90. Your cherries, depends on where you buy them, and if you buy a brand name or not. Your cherries are about $3. And the walnuts were the most expensive ingredient because I bought them from Woolworths, where I would normally get them from the nut factory. So probably about $7, but it makes heaps, folks. You will easily have enough.
Do you need a lot for each serve?
No, because you cut it into little slices. So now I'm going to plonk it in the coconut, like so. Looks messy, huh? It is. And roughly shape it into a loggish type shape on the end. Cut it into really thin slices. You could roll it if you wanted to into little balls, but all right.
I haven't got time for that.
Not sure I've got time for this either. So there we go. let me wash my hands. Clean tap tomorrow. My real sticky. Oh, coconut and condensed milk stick. There we go. Okay, so now I've got that there. I'm just going to get some more coconut. Where's my little coconut scoopy thingy? And sprinkle over the top to dry it out a bit. I buy the coconut from Hindustan too. Okay, you can't see that. Let me see now. And I fold it over.
Like a sushi.
Yeah, try and make a roll out of it, make a log out of it. Roll it over. And over and seal it up. Seal up the ends. Oops. Looking at the ends. And then shape it.
Diana wants to know if someone doesn't like cherries, could they use apricots?
Why not?
Any dried fruit, really?
Any dried fruit, yeah. Apricots, prunes would be nice in it. Dates. There you go. Flip it over. Okay, just roll it. Well, it's not really into a log yet because this end is open. Gotta love cling wrap. Sticks when you don't want it to and doesn't when you do want it to. So I want all this to stick together. Now this goes into the fridge to chill.
You really could half it, couldn't you?
Yeah, it makes heaps. Makes about 4 of these.
Oh, yeah.
So, all right. Now, we shall find a bit more plastic. I'm not happy with that plastic. Pin stick. Oh, where's the foil? Foil might be better. Foil might be better. Foil might be better. Just had a brainwave.
What about that? Freeze stuff on it?
It doesn't stick. I need it to stick. Best part about putting it in foil is I can reuse the foil. Perfect. Okay. Flip it over. There we go. Right, so that goes into the fridge to chill probably till it's really firm. It's about 2 hours minimum. Like that. When it's cold, you unwrap it and you slice it into little slices. So I might just go straight onto the foil instead of using the plastic. It's going to have to be longer, isn't it? Yep. Cool. Oh, sorry if that rattling's annoying you. Didn't do much about it, I suppose. Where did I put the coconut?
Right in front of you.
Right in front of me. Okay. If you don't like coconut, you could roll it in crushed biscuit crumbs. I will just wet my hands and get some more out. Or if you wanted to be really extravagant, you could roll it in crushed nuts, but that makes it super expensive, so I don't want it to be too expensive. Just like that. It's already starting to set up in the bowl. There we go. Now I make it so that the slices are about the size or a bit bigger than a 50-cent piece. That's a reasonable serving size. That's a reasonable serving size because it is very sweet, obviously, with the cherries, the marshmallows, the biscuits. the condensed milk. So there we go. And different coconuts can be really sweet too. Oh yeah, fold it over. The log is a bowl again. That's the log. The onions. Oops, burst it. Okay. Try and get it round. Pop it in the fridge. I'll do the rest later. I'll do the rest later. You don't need to watch me do the other two. But that's it. That's really easy. Once it goes in the fridge to set, it will keep for easily a week in an airtight container. When I make it in the logs. I just cut off what we need and rewrap it back in the plastic film and pop it in an airtight container. And it should keep for up to a week. Fridge fairies might attack it because it is really, really good. Really, really good. So if they do, it won't last a week because it'll disappear overnight. But it's really easy. It's really nice. It's one of those things that you can make tonight to take for morning tea tomorrow, or you can make it tonight to wrap up in cellophane bags and give as a gift because it makes a nice gift too. And those little boxes from the reject shop, perfect for something like this. Excuse me, now I've got the hiccups again. Lost my train of thought, sorry folks.
Gifts,
yeah. So you're going somewhere for dinner or whatever and you want to take a little something for the hostess or the host, put it on a plate, tie it with a ribbon, put a rose through the thing, or a camellia or a azalea flower through the ribbon, through the bow, and it looks really pretty and it makes a nice gift and it doesn't cost a lot. Now it freezes, it keeps in the freezer for months. So if you're going to freeze it, wrap it well in plastic wrap. In fact, double wrap it in plastic wrap. So I wrap it that way then that way, if that makes sense, and put it in a container, an airtight container, and it will keep for months in the fridge. So you've got it. It's in the sweets and lollies recipe file, and it's called Choc Cherry Marshmallow Slice. I think I've called it, but it is actually a log. We just always called it a slice because you get a little slice. Okay, so it's really easy, but I'll run through the ingredients again. A packet of chocolate filled biscuits or that style of biscuit with 2 crumbs, 2 cups of coconut, 2 packets of cherries chopped up, 2 packets of marshmallows, the regular packets of marshmallows. So that's a big packet, so that's the equivalent of 2 packets of marshmallows, and a tin of condensed milk. I had spare condensed milk handy because sometimes your coconut's a bit dry, sometimes your biscuits are a bit drier, so a little extra didn't go astray, but it's not strictly necessary. Really easy. Here you go. And done. Okay, so let me get rid of this because then we're going to talk about stuff everywhere here tonight. Sorry, folks. And I had a cloth. Pop those away for me, please. Thank you. The perfect roast chicken. I was shocked a while back, a few years ago now. I was absolutely stunned. I do a roast most Sundays. We haven't had a roast on a Sunday for a while now because the oven's not working. So we haven't had a roast for a while. And we've been away and whatever. But I do a roast most Sundays. Always have. And it never occurred to me that people didn't do roasts. Not every week, but ever. I was talking to my sister-in-law one day, and they've been married way longer than us, 5 years longer than us. and she had never cooked a roast, and she'd certainly never cooked a roast chicken. And I have to be honest, and I was just gobsmacked. Wow. So for those who have never cooked a roast, it's really easy. And if you've never cooked a roast chicken, this one is so simple, you'll be stunned. But if you have cooked roast chicken and you've not been happy with the way it's turned out, this way turns out the skin is crispy and golden, the meat is moist, it's cooked all the way through, it's really delicious. And what you need is a chicken. Where's my chicken? Here it is. Whoops. Now, this is a fresh chicken. When they were on sale at Woolies and Coles a while back, they were $2.99. So a kilo, which is a pretty good price. So I stocked up, and we have about, I think we've still got about 8 left from then. I always try to go for one around 2 kilos. That's a good size for us. Bigger, smaller, doesn't really matter. But this is our whole choc. Now, you may not be aware that wet meat doesn't cook, it stews. And wet skin doesn't crisp up. It just goes soggy and irky. So the first thing I do, and I've already done this, the first thing I do is dry. Take it out of the packaging, obviously, drain it, and then dry the outside of the choc. And I just use a clean, dry dishcloth. They get washed all the time, they get soaked every week, and it just goes into the wash then. So that leaves your choc ready to do. Now, we like our chickens seasoned or stuffed, for want of a better word. And this is the stuffing from the $25 Christmas meal plan. It's just a simple bread stuffing. I won't put my hands in there because I've had them on the chicken, but I need about that much bread. Okay. There we go. And I just tear it up into little pieces into the bowl like this. Very similar. This is the way my mum made it, and so I've always done it this way. This is very similar to an old-fashioned mock chicken. If you've ever made mock chicken or done a mock chicken roast, this stuffing is very, very similar. Only it's moist. Hannah looks worried. What's wrong, Bum?
What's a mock chicken?
Mock
Why
chicken.
are you cooking it?
It's mock chicken. It's just like a nut meat chicken.
Is it in the shape of a chicken?
No, darling, it's not the shape of a chicken. You've eaten it for years, and I just sorry. Sorry. It must be that time of year.
Could be like Raymond and
The tofurkey.
Yeah.
No, it's not like tofurkey. Whatever it is. All right, so about 6 slices of bread. Chew them up. Because this will go into the chicken, into the cavity, but it also goes under the skin. So this is, and if you've ever seen, often had stuffed drumsticks on our meal plan. This is the recipe I use for the stuffing for the stuffed drumsticks. Pretty much the same. Oh, that's a bit big. Pretty much the same process. Now, if you don't want to stand and do this, and yes, use the crust, just tear it into smaller pieces. If you don't want to stand and do this, you can whiz it in the food processor. I find it makes the bread too fine, and it tends to go a bit goopy, where you sort of want it to be moist but not sloppy, if that makes sense. Okay, one last piece here. This should be enough. Now, to this, I'm going to add some seasonings and some tomato and an egg to bind it. bit big. It's a bit big. That looks a bit big. Any pieces seem too big to you? Break them up some more, especially the crusts, because they take a bit longer to cook. Okay. Now, a lot of people don't like putting the stuffing inside the bird because they say it doesn't, the bird, it doesn't cook properly, it doesn't reach temperature, you'll die of salmonella or something or other. Well, I've reached the grand old age of 21 plus a few years eating chicken like this, and it's never happened to me. But we do make sure that the meat is cooked, and I always test the internal temperature. I actually have a meat thermometer that I use. Picked it up years ago at one of the kitchenware shops, and that is always my guide for checking whether the any meat is done. Now, onion. I'm using dried onion. If you have fresh, because I don't have fresh onion at the moment. If you have fresh onion, use fresh onion, mince it up nice and fine. Now, mixed herbs. Be generous with your herbs. You want a flavour. There we go. Probably a good tablespoon and a bit. And then, what did I use that knife for? Opening something. Tomato. Chopped tomato. So, let's move these out of the way. Just if you have tin diced tomatoes, you can use tin diced tomatoes. You don't need to use your fresh tomatoes.
Could you use the Italian herb one and get rid of the herbs?
If you wanted to. You could, yes, use your seasoned tomatoes and not add any more seasoning. The tomato keeps it nice and moist. Flavours it, but it keeps it nice and moist and gives it a bit of colour without it looking bland and ouch, that hurt. Right. All right. So this tomato is just in half in quarters, and then I just slice it up into sort of chunks. Not too big, not too small. Just into pieces, because it will break down in the cooking, as tomato does. Okay, into the bowl. As much of that juice as I can in there. Perfect. All right, I've got a cloth here to wipe my hands because now I need to crack an egg into it. And a bowl. Might need two. It's a little egg.
It's a really small one.
It's a little teeny tiny egg. And I still always crack eggs into a bowl because the one time I don't will be the time it's off, and then just mush it up, smush it up, mix it all around. It'll turn to a goop. The juice will come out of the tomatoes, so give them a squeeze. You can hear it. Can you hear it being squishy? Yeah, hand is shuddering there. Okay. Right, now, the bird. The bird. There we go. I've already drained and dried the inside, so now I'm just going to take handfuls and shove it in.
Glad you do that and not me.
Pack it in a little bit tightly. So it goes just like so. Now you'll see there's still quite a bit left, and that's for a purpose. One nice little bit maybe. Now I don't sew the flap closed or anything like that. I just fold it over. But before I do that, lift my finger. Can you see? The skin is here. If you lift your finger, you can actually make pockets under the skin. So I do that as far back as I can. So and down to the side. All right. And I fill those with the seasoning. Now I do this for the stuffed drumsticks. This is what I do for the stuffed drumsticks. Only obviously you're lifting the skin on the drumstick. Push it in as far in as you can go. Well, like so. You'll be surprised at how much you'll get in.
Don't forget to do the other side.
I won't forget to do the other side. There's plenty to go around.
None of a lopsided chicken.
We won't have a lopsided chicken. Okay, now. Oh, you have not heard that before. Goodness gracious me. All right, so who have we got on tonight? Eh?
A lot of people.
A whole lot of people. Okay. When you stuff or season a chicken like this, it does add to the cooking time. Okay? It adds a good 30 to 40 minutes to the cooking time. Depends on the size of your bird, so just bear that in mind. Let's see, fit a bit more there. Alrighty. Okay. Wipe that off. I'll be back in a second. Need to move the sink closer to the bench, don't I? Okay. Now that's all done. But the last thing I do is some butter, not margarine, butter. Sorry folks, but for this it must be butter.
Can't believe it's not butter.
Well, it is butter. Cut off a wodge that looks big enough. Yep, that looks like it'll be big enough. And you start, and you just massage the top of that bird. Cover it with butter. Okay. Rub it into the skin. All over it. Now, you've already dried the skin, so it goes on fairly easily, unless it sticks to your hand and melts into your fingers. Don't forget to do the drumsticks. Okay, you can flip it over if you want to and do the underneath. Do the drumsticks, the wings. Okay, now here's the baking dish. That's it, done and ready to go into the oven. No salt, no pepper. Just cover it really well with butter, massage it all in. So it's probably about 40 grams of butter I cut off. And you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but it's quite thick, quite a thick layer. All right, now I have to use hot water. Sorry guys, again. It's ready to go into the oven. Alrighty, so always into a hot oven. I do it at about 190. In a baking dish. If you have an oven bag, you can put it into an oven bag, into a baking dish. Otherwise, I spray the baking dish with cooking spray, just helps to clean it up later on. Into the baking dish, cover it with foil, pop it into the oven, let it cook for about 45 minutes, then take the foil off and let it finish cooking that way. Check your time. Now, a bird this size in my oven when it was working at 190 took around an hour and a half to an hour and 45 for my trusty thermometer to reach the 190 Fahrenheit, which is 87 centigrade poultry, to say poultry was done. And I always let it go a bit over that just to be sure. And remember, you're always checking if you're using the thermometer through the thickest part, and then I did it in the middle too to make sure that it's that temperature all the way through and everything is cooked. Once you've done that, bring it out of the oven, lift it out of the tray onto your baking tray, cover it with foil and let it rest. And it's easy. That's it. The skin will be crispy and golden. It won't be loaded and saturated, soaking up with fat and butter and whatever. Inside will be, the seasoning will be nice and firm, so you'll be able to slice it. It will be cooked through but firm so you can slice it. Under the seasoning, under the skin will still be moist. It's the best roast chicken ever. Best roast chicken. So that's our dinner for tomorrow night. It will go back in the fridge. You can do this 24 hours ahead. So if you want to do this for Christmas dinner, you can do it Christmas Eve, pop it in the fridge, covered in the fridge, ready to go into the oven. Take it out of the fridge about a half an hour before you're going to put it in the oven, just to let it come down to room temperature. It won't take as long to cook then. And always into a chilled oven. That's it. It's best roast chicken. Where'd the lid go? Oh, the lid's in the sink to be washed. Best roast chicken ever. So good. Now, do we have any questions? Hannah says, I don't know. Aren't you watching? Oh, no. Oh, okay. What do we got there? I can't see, darling. You have to read them to me. Now remember, folks.
Oh, yeah.
This is me cooking, not there we go. Look at this. Take the glasses down. All right. Putting the stuffing under the skin is really good. And okay, stuffing your bird and putting the stuffing under the skin is a sneaky way of stretching the meat. It goes further. I've never tried lemon slices. I have put butter under the skin. Never tried lemon. Hi, Barb. How could you forget about us? Estelle, if you find a bird that's got odd bits of feather, just pull them out. Just whip them out. That's easy enough to do. Yeah. So, no, I've never wiped the eggshell out with a, there's not much in there, with my finger. Kerry, Americans do bake their stuffing separately because they actually serve it as a side dish more. When I stuff a bird or stuff a piece of beef or lamb or whatever, it's part of the meat, so it's part of the savoury part of the meal, not as a vegetable or a side dish. And Americans use lots of apples and walnuts and rice, and they have quite fancy stuffings. I don't like those. So I tried a rice one once and just wasn't the same. So to me, apples and carrots and celery belong in a salad, not in a stuffing. Cranberries, you know, they're a dessert or a sauce. They're not in a stuffing. I'm a bit weird like that. Yay, Leonie. Leonie's mum made stuffing the same way. It's the best way, isn't it? It's on its way, Kerry. Oh, lots of. Okay. Alrighty, folks. I'm scrolling back here. Sorry, guys. What cost-effective alternative flours are there? Almond meal gets expensive. I don't know. Oh gosh, I honestly don't know. Can anyone help us deal with that? I don't do gluten-free. We aren't gluten-free, so it's not something that I consciously do. My sister-in-law is, but she's in Sydney, so we don't backwards and forwards very often. So I'll fess up and say if she was coming, I'd buy a gluten-free cake mix and make that for her.
Betty Crocker had nice ones for $2.60 occasionally.
There you go. Betty Crocker gluten-free cake mixes are nice for $2.60 on sale. Right. Hope your husband's feeling better, Judy. He'll be like a new man with that pacemaker. It's a miracle thing. If he's not been well beforehand, and even if he didn't realise he wasn't well, all of a sudden he's got a pacemaker. He'll feel 15 years younger. Yeah, so. You can use any jars. You don't have to buy jars. Just make sure they're well washed and dried, and you can sterilise them. And if I'm reusing jars, savoury jars are for savoury things, the sweet jars are for sweet things. So jam jars and things like that get kept for the jams and the condensed milk and whatever. So that's a jam jar. Whereas the pasta sauce jars and the pickle jars and things get kept for the pasta sauce or the tomatoes or the pickles or chutneys or whatever. Not because the glass tastes, but the lids that fit them can often taste, like hold on to a taste. Even if they've been soaked, you can sterilise them in Milton or whatever, they still sometimes hold on to that taste. Now, in saying that, you can buy new lids if you need to or if you want to. There's a place in Cranbourne that you can buy lids for your regular 450-gram jars for preserving if you want to buy them. So you don't have to reuse the lids if you don't want to. Does it really matter if they're bigger than a tin? I'm assuming, Estelle, this is for your condensed milk. So just measure it out. Measure out whatever. A tin is about 1.5 cups, roughly. So measure 1.5 cups into a jar. The jar doesn't have to be the exact size. Tip it upside down. If you're going to store it in the fridge, it'll keep for about a month, or put it in the freezer. And those jars will go in the freezer.
There's a couple of new questions at the bottom too.
Is there new questions? What is stuffing if it's not stuffed inside something? Exactly. Well, if it's not stuffed inside something,
it's just stuffs.
Just stuff. Yeah, if it's not stuffed inside something, it's just stuff. That's true. Interesting question. Okay. Can you throw a few spuds in the bottom of the tray while the chicken cooks? Of course you can. That's how roasts used to be done. You used to have the meat in the middle and you'd start the meat off and then put the veggies in the pan, roll them in the juices, and because they want to let the fat run off the meat, which would be the fat or the lard or whatever that they cook the veggies in, and do the veggies that way. So yes, of course you can. There's no issue with that at all. You just don't put them in for as long, obviously. Bits of sugar, whole lemon, at least beautiful flavour. Oh, honestly, folks, try the stuffing under the skin. It's chicken changing. I was going to say life changing, but it's chicken changing. So good. And if you can get drumsticks on sale,
Try the drumsticks first.
try it on the drumsticks first. You honestly, I just make the stuffing, put it under the skin of the drumsticks, and then I put them in my baking dish, drizzle them, literally drizzle them with just a little tiny bit of olive oil. I don't usually batter the outside of the skin for the drumsticks. Drizzle them with olive oil, give them a toss around, and put them in the oven and let them bake. Really good, really, really good. So nice way to have drumsticks. And they're really good cold too. They're delicious cold like that. Okay. Alrighty. So. Okay, folks. Now, all right.
Bye.
I have to tell you, we had some really good, really good entries into our quick competition. So for our planner, for our Living the Cheapskates Way budget and lifestyle planner for next year. So much so that it was hard picking one. It was really hard picking one. It was even harder to pick two. Oh my gosh, they were really, really good, and there were so many of them. So we have three. Oh, I know I said one. I know. And Hannah gave me the eyeball roll and say, "You're so weak." Just, I am. They're really good ideas. So I can't do a drum roll because I haven't got a drum and I haven't got a roll. Three winners. I'll post their tips over on our website, over on Cheapskates Club website, and you'll be able to go and have a look at them. I'll post all of them up there actually. They're all really good. So I'll put a link to them off the homepage. But first of all, to Rod Bowers, was really nice to get a tip from Man. It was really nice to get a tip that explained how he and his sons did Christmas dinner and the different things they have and the way they prepare it ahead and whatever, and his sons or daughters, both. Sorry, it was really good. Then Samantha Masters, congratulations, Samantha. Her tip was wonderful. We really liked her tip because it broke down. It wasn't just write a list and give everyone a job to do. It actually broke it down into details about how to do the list, right down to the serviettes and the cutlery. It was brilliant. Absolutely loved it. It was really, really good. And Lynette Stewart. And Lynette's tip was sort of an extension of the other two. So they all sort of led into each other. Really, really good tips. So thrilled. So if Rod, Samantha and Lynette are watching tonight, that would be really good. You need to zip over to the website, click on the contact us and let me know. I need your mailing address so I can pop these planners in the post to you. And I'll also be posting it on Facebook in case they've missed it here. And yeah, they were great ideas because people stress about so much about Christmas and Christmas dinner and the planning and stuff. And really, I've said it for years, it's one meal on one day of the year. So if it's going to cause you so much angst and stress and put you into debt, is it really worth it? So take some ideas, go through the hints and see what they are. Pull out what you can use from them to make your Christmas day the way you want it to be. And then you'll sit back and enjoy it, hopefully. So congratulations to Rod, Samantha and Lynette. I will be very, very excited to post you your planners. So thrilled to be able to do it. They were really great tips, everyone. Absolutely, really, really good. Now, excuse me while I do this again. I know it's really hard, but all right. Yeah, Hannah's gone out. She's gone out with some friends from work. So Bedtime. Can't be going out at bedtime. Must be showing my age, folks. Notice she goes out just when I've got a whole kitchen to clean. Interesting. All right, so, oh, lovely. Oh, Estelle, that sounds lovely. I have to fess up and say I will be in bed fast asleep. I won't be staying up till midnight on Christmas Eve. But what an honour, what a privilege, and I'm sure you shall enjoy it. And I'm sure you'll bless everyone with your beautiful music. Oh, so nice. Okay, guys, that's about me done, I think, because I've got to clean up. Unfortunately, the cleaning lady is me. So I shall see you on Tuesday night. If you have any questions, let me know. If you'd like to see something, let me know. I will see you on Tuesday night. Have a great weekend. Everybody stay safe. If you're in New South Wales and Queensland, stay cool, and hopefully you're out of the fire zones. Western Australia, you stay cool and out of the fire zones. It's been dreadful. I'm not sure what I'll be talking about on Tuesday yet, because I've forgotten. I did have something in mind and now it's gone. Sorry, folks. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us. If you've liked tonight's show, please give me a thumbs up underneath. If you haven't already subscribed, please do click the subscribe. And if you want to be notified ahead of time or when I post a new video, then click the little bell and you can be notified every time we're live and every time we have a new video go up. That would be great. Now everyone's talking to me now. Yeah. I could try Easter. Alrighty. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me again. It has been a pleasure and an honour. And I've thoroughly enjoyed it. And I now have 4 rolls of choc cherry marshmallow log in the freezer for Christmas. Yes. Okay, guys, thank you so much. I shall see you on Tuesday. Good night.